We'll take you live now to the Obra spot, where earlier there were chants from hundreds of Ghanaians who've gathered there to call on political parties and to urge supporters of the NDC to stop what they've described as violent protest and use legal channels to address the grievances concerning the 2020 election. It was supposed to be a march through principal streets of Accra to demand the NDC accepts the outcome of the 2020 elections or go to court with their evidence of rigging. My colleague Kweku Asante is there live for us. Hello, Kweku Asante. Do we know what has halted or prevented the protesters from going on the streets? All right, Kweku, if you can hear me, we understand that this protest was supposed to have started by now, but the demonstrators are still at the Obra spot. What exactly is causing the delay? Now, you may recall, while we wait for Kweku Asante to get back to us, you may recall that after the EC chairperson, Jane Mensah, declared the 2020 results, the NDC said they had rejected the result and they still stand by that. This was followed by protests across the country. Just yesterday, we saw some in the northeast and upper east regions. Earlier in the week, there were some demonstrations in Tamale and Wa. And just yesterday, we saw a police notice indicating that they had secured a restraining order, which was to prevent the NDC from organizing further protests and demonstrations in the capital, Accra. That's the latest with regards to the NDC's protest. We've not heard of any protests anywhere else in the country today. But what's happening now is that at the Obra spot, a group has decided to embark on what they call a peace march. And this is to urge the NDC and its supporters to go to court if they have any evidence of rigging and avoid the violent protest. All right, we have Kweku now.
A group of political parties, 9 political parties who contested in the just ended presidential election, together with an independent candidate, are calling on former President John Dramani Mahama to concede defeat in the just ended election. And Benin's viewers may be aware that the former President John Dramani Mahama and his political party, the NDC, have raised specific issues about the just ended election, saying that they are not going to accept the results because they feel there are some irregularities, they feel there are some vote parting. They've alleged vote parting in favor of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who was declared by the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Madam Jane Mensah, as the winner of the just ended election. And so these 9 political parties, and let me mention their names, are the CPP, PNC, LPG, PPP, NDP, GCPP, GUM, UFP, and APC, and then the independent presidential candidate. The presidential candidate for all these political parties were here this morning, with the exception of the independent presidential candidate, Mr. Walker. But then the vice presidential candidate for the independent candidate, Mr. Joseph Jacob Oseyebu, was also here. And so what this group of political parties are contending is the fact that, according to them, their own sources and their own look of the 2020 election, they feel like the process was fair. But there's one point here: the march that was supposed to be on the principal streets of Accra has been called off. The march is not coming off because, according to these political parties, they received notification from the police that because of 1 or 2 security issues, they are unable to proceed with the march. Of course, they did not give us details of these specific details that the security agencies gave them. But there are still a few people around here who came here because of the march that are still around. A number of them have already left, but I'll try and speak to some of them and get their perspective in terms of what they make of the calling of the march. But then these political parties are saying that John Dramani Mahama should accept the outcome of the elections. Let me see if I can speak to some of the people who have been here. Hello. 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 Please, can we speak? Yeah. So this was supposed to be a march to call on the NDC and other people to be peaceful in their protests and all that. The march has not come off. What would you say to that?
Yo, the entire young co-work ni be ma, your man is so high. Ya bando NDC4 nti se ya bando om de hu hia sese yesan ye work biem editia nti de ye mpanimfo na ka no e na ye di so enu nti na ama ya stop it now aye gusu gina no ba de hia ne se peaceful ye hia sumdue wo man ni mu enu de we ka ho amaka ne twice ye pa ne chew oma ya sumunyu ye wo man ni mu na yenso so yemfa ya ho odi ne enim dia ye betimi dia bo man ye mmoa na ye man entumpon because Ghana there the whole world obi enim say Ghana e ya sumdue kuro obi enim say Ghana e peaceful enti ye mpese we beba na ebe ye niam bi basa na ye kuro no ye ho aba fi ana ye kuro no ho ensensam ne nan na mamanfo amaman so enti yesre ye papa no ye mpanimfo NDC4 ye wofanam ye papa nam ye nuanam because ye nyina ye oman ba ye nyina ye abusua baako ye nya yiyimu ye nkase kwaku bani ye yawo bani ye nyina ye fu baako mu mase de Yesu kan se me manam mu nyina mu ye abusua baako moja baako ye nyina ye moja baako enti yesre ye papa no MP NDC4 ese yesre wo nkotodwe dan kotodwe ensa ye dansa yam se omoma ye nya asumdue wo manimu na obi antimi nya ne asese wo ye hwe Christmas ye hu se Ghana ye balling obi anko obi amma because ya sumu nyoyen se ya sumu duyen a ye betinya ye ne asese ye edwadifo ye ntimi nkodi ye dwa ye ton ne ma ye ne ma gugu dam ne ye because ye ukosesi a ye koto ahso so na ya bo ye hu sa ne ma we bi o Ghana efri si mani free di me hu bi da from JJ Penso me free to abanya ne ma to aba free JJ Penso ye hu sa de we bi da eti ye sre omo enchirima fo no ma ba ne ye sre omo se ye po mo chew omo hwe yen no omo fa nche no omo nya mu mananka na de nyankopon obeye no wa ye wie dada ye sre omo medamasi.
Right, so Benis, you just heard from one of the people who came here because of the march. This march did not come off, but she's been speaking quite passionately, calling on the NDC to accept the election results. They are saying that the rejection of the results has caused a lot of tension in the country, and they are pleading on the NDC to accept the outcome of the elections. Earlier today, there were a lot of people with a lot of placards that read, Ghana has decided, respect the vote of the people, NDC, we want peace. A lot of placards that is people who are ready to march have been showing. But let me share with you brief parts of the statement that have been released by these political parties. They are saying that the essence of this peace walk we just embarked on is to appeal to our colleague, the NDC presidential candidate John Mahama, to concede defeat, just as we have all done, and congratulate the president-elect, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who was declared as the legitimate winner of the 2020 elections. It has become extremely crucial for John Mahama to accept that he lost the elections and congratulate the winner, not only because this gesture is necessary to protect the peace and stability of this country, but also to preserve and affirm Ghana's enviable democratic credentials. They go on to say that, according to the result declared by the commission, they mention the numbers, they say that it is so clear that candidates securing more than 50% of the number of valid votes cast at the election, it's all clear that Akufo-Addo won the election emphatically with 4% difference, and this translates into a whopping 517,000 votes difference between him and second place candidate John Mahama. So they continue to make the point that the NDC presidential candidate and Benis, over the past few weeks, or the past few days, I must say, since the Electoral Commission declared the election, there have been series of protests nationwide by the opposition National Democratic Congress challenging the outcome of the 2020 elections. As of now, we are yet to have an indication what other legal steps the NDC will take in terms of challenging this outcome, aside the usual street protest. Of course, like yesterday we reported, as of today, the NDC has only 6 days to be able to present an election petition to the Supreme Court to challenge the outcome of the election, just as the Constitution dictates. And so we'll be looking forward to see what the NDC will be doing that. So this year we have here the youth organizer of the Ghana Freedom Party, GFA, Creaton Cause Party, who have also been part of this protest, to share with us why they wanted to embark on this protest.
My brother, as you know, we went to an election. We were expecting just a single person or just a single candidate to take the lead or take the lead to the presidency. And we all know that President Nana Akufo-Addo was at a comfortable lead. So we're not surprised when EC came out to declare him as the winner. But unfortunately for the NDC, they keep on hitting the streets that they are demonstrating against the outcome of the election, which is not normal. My brother, it's not normal, because you, the media, even reported what was on the ground, and most of the media houses will recall that their coalition was that. I mean, it goes with the EC, the Electoral Commission's coalition. So I was so surprised that the NDC came out boldly that they were cheated.
Right. So if they have any issues with the election results, one would say they have the constitutional rights to protest and do whatever is within the constitution. What would you say to that?
As for our party, we are not emphasizing much on the demonstration, but the outcome of the demonstration. My brother, you cannot demonstrate while burning ties, blocking of roads, destroying properties, and so forth, beating up security personnel. It's not normal. It's a thing that we should condemn it. And in fact, the Constitution also says that if they have a case, if really they believe they have been cheated, they should go to the court. So I don't know why they are wasting time. If indeed they will go to court, why are they trying to bring insecurity in the country?
Right. So thank you very much. This is the youth organizer of the Ghana Freedom Party, Kwadon Kospa. Let me try and speak to one of the people who came around for the march, and then we'll get into some other details. But sir, the march has been called off. What has been your reaction so far since you've been here, and the reason why you left your home to come here this morning?
Okay, my name is Honorable Eugene Amuadakwa, North Jolo Assembly Member. I am here because of one thing. Ghana needs peace. We need peace to do everything that we want to do. So I am here in support of other political parties to show concern that we need peace. Because without peace, there is nothing that we can do. And because I'm an assembly member and I have a responsibility within my electoral area, then I have to show concern. That is why I'm wearing Ghana. We have only one Ghana. When you see our neighboring countries, they are all Francophone countries. Burkina Faso, Ivory Coast, and then Togo. So we need Ghana. Without Ghana, where are you going? That's why I'm here. I'm here to show my concern to the citizenry.
So what course of action would you advise the NDC to take if they disagree so much with the results?
It's one. I think 8 years ago or so, the year 2012, then President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, said it. If there's anything that they need to do, we have Ghana is a sovereign country which is ruling by, we use constitution that rules. So it's one. If there's nothing at all, they have to go to the Supreme Court or any other court that they think they can help. Yes.
Right. So, I mean, the common refrain here today, Benis, has been that if the NDC has any legitimate means, legitimate reasons for which reason they are refusing to accept the outcome of the 2020 presidential election, then they must head to the court. And that is actually the same thing that presidential candidates in the 2020 elections of the Convention People's Party, Mr. Ivor Kwabena Greenstreet said. He says that although they think that there were no problems with the election, if the NDC have legitimate means to challenge that outcome, then they must go to court. It was the same refrain from David Apasera of the PNC, the same response that Mr. Kofi Akpaloo and other people gave. And so far the refrain here has been that you could have the legal right to protest, but protest within the laws and make sure that you do not destroy property, you do not cause a lot of mayhem and chaos, and that at the end of the day, we'll be able to have the peace. And then if you have the evidence, then you must go to court, Benis.
That's my colleague Kweku Asante there, giving us details of what's happening there at the Obra Sport. As you can see, some of the people who gathered there with the hope of marching are still there. As I'm sure many of you expected that this would have been called off because of the notice we received from the police about the NDC being banned or restrained from organizing further protests And well, that's what it is. But away from that, the Police Motor Traffic and Transport Department will be clamping down on commercial tricycle and motorcycle operators in the Ashanti region. We've got more for you shortly after this.